Welcome to Maths with EJD. Still talking about spectral analysis. Our focus shifts to the periodogram. I think we've talked about it a little bit before now. So with some very interesting diagrams that time. So let's move to talk about that, the periodogram, right? The periodogram is a tool for estimating the power spectral density. In the last video, we talked about the concept of the power spectral density. Okay, the periodogram is a tool for estimating the power spectral density of a signal, right? And it shows how the power of a signal is distributed across frequencies. It is useful in signal processing, vibration analysis, maybe in mechanical parts, right? In EEG stroke ECG analysis, that's in for biomedical use, I believe, and of course in communications. Mathematically, for a discrete signal x of n of length n, okay, we have P of f equals 1 over n equals P of n equals 1 over n, absolute value of summation from n equals 0 to n minus 1, x of n e raised power multiplied by e raised power minus j 2 by fn, all raised to power 2. So here the PF is known as the periodogram. That is the power estimate at frequency f. Then x of n is the signal samples, while n is the number of samples. So that would be what we call harmonics in the case of continuous time, I think. So f is the normalized frequency. These are cycles per sample. So the derivation actually follows this pattern. You have the discrete Fourier transform DFT, x of f equals summation from n equals 0 to n minus 1, xn e raised power minus j2 by fn. And then in step 2, you have the power spectrum, which is the squared magnitude. We looked at that in the previous video. That's xf all squared. And finally, we normalize by sample count n. And then we have 1 over n into the square of the absolute value of x of f. Okay? So that's how the derivation goes. So that's how you get to derive the periodogram. So, and it provides, this provides a per sample power estimate. The P of F provides a per sample power estimate. And we have the raw periodogram, which is the first and simplest power spectrum density estimate. And then we have the it is computed efficiently using fast Fourier transform in practice. Of course, talking about some properties of the periodogram, we have the variance, which is high and does not decrease with increasing number of samples. That's when it becomes noisy, it doesn't decrease. Then we have the bias stroke spectral leakage. We have discontinuities in finite signals, which spread power to nearby frequencies. Then we have resolution, talking about change in frequency, and that is equal to sampling frequency divided by the number of samples. In that case, we have longer signals improving resolution, right? Then we have consistency. Raw periodogram is inconsistent, but averaging improves reliability. Talking about limitations, now we have high variance. High variance is one of the limitations of periodogram. High variance talks about the peaks fluctuate and making raw periodogram noisy. And we have spectral leakage also. So we have finite length data causing spreading of spectral energy. Then we have poor consistency. So raw periodogram does not converge as n approaches infinity. So that can be quite an issue. Then we have trade-off between bias and resolution. Windowing reduces leakage but broadens peaks. So how do you improve on these limitations? All right, improvements and enhancements. So we use windowing like Hamming, and Blackman windows, reducing spectral leakage. And we have the Welch method, which divides signal into overlapping segments, average periodograms to reduce variance. Then we have the multi-taper method, which is multiple orthogonal tapers to balance bias and variance. And we have zero padding, which improves the frequency resolution in FFT visualization. Interestingly, in the next video, we'll be looking at Welch method multi-taper and one other method like this. So let's look at the raw periodogram. Let's demonstrate it with Python. So here we generate a sinusoid contaminated with Gaussian noise and compute the raw periodogram. So the raw periodogram still contains noise. It has not been filtered. That's why it is called raw. So here we need two Python libraries, NumPy and Matplotlib, right? NumPy for computation and Matplotlib for visualization. We have the frequency sample, sampling frequency of 100 Hertz. The period is 2, and then we have number of samples to be frequency sample times the period. That will amount to like 200. Then we have the time, the time domain, so to speak. It's from 0 to t divided by the number of samples. So endpoint is false, like we don't have endpoints like that, maybe. So then we have the signal itself, the sinusoid plus the noise. So we have the basic frequency, that's 50 hertz, and we have the signal, which is sine 2 pi ft of and then it contains some noise. So we have 0.5 times some random sample like that. Okay, so then we compute the fast Fourier transform and the raw periodogram. So to do that, we have the fast Fourier transform. Now we take that transform of the signal, right? And then we have the frequencies too. That's we'll take the frequency with respect to the number of samples and the period, and the sampling period, right? Fs is the sampling frequency, then 1/Fs is the sampling period. So we have the raw periodogram now, which is pxs, which is 1/n times the absolute value of x squared. I think we saw this computation in the previous video where we have absolute value of x all squared, and then that is divided by the period. Then we have positive frequencies. So we deal with positive frequencies only because PSD is non-negative, like we saw, just like ASD2. So we have POS underscore IDX equals frequencies greater than 0. So we only take frequencies greater than 0. These frequencies here, make sure they are greater than 0. Then we have frequency underscore POS. Now we have frequency of greater than 0 like that. Then we have PXS over POS underscore POX, and that is the periodogram of positive frequencies alone. And then we go ahead to plot that. So the main plot is frequency underscore POS against PXS underscore POS. That's positive, right? So that we're plotting the periodogram against frequencies. So that's why the title is raw periodogram. The X label is frequency and Y label is the power. Okay. So of course, when you run for the first time, it's a bit slow. So wait for that to come through. So we are done. And this is the raw periodogram, still containing some noise, right? So the peak is somewhere close to 1.75 that's the peak of the power. And then using the Welch, when we use the Welch method, right, we divide signal so that it's a way of enhancing the quality, right? So we divide signal into overlapping segments like that to improve that thing, that what we've just seen. So in this case, we have Welch periodogram, which is smoothed. So the Welch method reduces variance by averaging periodograms of overlapping segments. So it's some kind of, if you like, moving average in statistics. So from SciPy signal, you import Welch. So you have F underscore Welch, then the periodogram underscore Welch. So that's Welch. You take the signal into consideration. You take the sampling frequency, Fs equals Fs. The window method we are using is Hanning. Then number of n per seg is the number of samples. Then the non-overlap is 128. Then we plot. So we do the semilogy, for the Welch. Now we do semilogy of Welch frequency. That's a periodogram, Welch periodogram against Welch frequency, right? And the title, we have Welch periodogram smoothed, and X label is frequency, Y label is power. So it will be an improvement on what we did before because we're still using the same signal. So with this now, we have some improvement, and then the power is greatly reduced. Here we had something close to 1.75 as the peak. Here the peak is now like the peak is around, it's less than 0.0, is less than 0.01, yeah, because 10 raised to minus 2 is 0.01. So we have something just a bit above 0.01 like that because we have actually enhanced that. Now let's look at some comparison and observations. So for raw periodogram, the peak is at 50 Hertz, but it is noisy. But for Welch periodogram, it is smoother and easier to detect peaks, right? So it's smoother compared to this, like that. So some key takeaways here You have the periodogram is equal to simple power spectrum density estimator from FFT. That's what a periodogram is. It is just simple PSD estimator from fast Fourier transform. Then the limitations: high variance, leakage, and poor consistency. Improvements: you can improve by windowing, averaging, using Welch, and you can use multi-taper. I think we're going to see that in the next video. So then applications in signal analysis, vibration monitoring, EEG stroke ECG studies, and communications. So finally, I think I want to show raw periodogram versus windowed periodogram versus Welch periodogram. So again, Welch reduces variance, and then we see windowing. Windowing helps to let's see, where's that thing now? So windowing helps to reduce spectral leakage. Yes. So so want to compare cases where we have the raw, unfiltered signal still containing noise. Then we want to compare that with the windowed one, which helps to to reduce the spectral leakage, and Welch, which reduces the variance. So want to visualize trade-offs. To visualize trade-offs, we apply windowed fast Fourier transform for leakage reduction, and we compare raw, windowed, and Welch periodograms on the same plot. This helps understand variance versus bias versus resolution trade-off, right? So we want to see how much dealing with variance and bias and resolution works here. Okay, so from SciPy signal, you import Welch and import Windows. Okay, that's from Scientific Python, which is good for scientific computing. So for the window periodogram, we apply a Hanning window to the signal. So we have window equals windows.han n. All right, so this n now is the number of samples that we've been working with. Then x windowed is now, this x now is this original signal from the first time. You can see we didn't declare a new signal here because we are still working with the data that was declared here. So this sin n pi ft plus the noise, okay? That's still what we are referring to because we are not declaring any new thing here. So we are working based with that. So the signal now times the Hanning window, that's what we have in line 6. Then to compute the fast Fourier transform of the windowed signal, so we have x windowed is now, of course, np.fft of the windowed signal. Then having done that, we compute windowed periodogram, which is normalized by sum of window squared. So we have windowed periodogram is now 1 over frequency multiplied by sum of all the windows, and then all of that now multiplied by the square root, the square of the absolute value of the windowed periodogram of the windowed signal, I think. Yeah. So, and then we also have positive frequencies only for windowed periodogram. So remember we declared positive index the other time. So for only frequencies greater than or equal to 0. Okay, so that's what we now have here. PXS underscore windowed underscore POS is now PXS windowed, taking just positive frequencies alone. So we plot all these 3 periodograms together and we see how they go. So we say plot the semiology frequency, of course, positive periodogram against positive frequency. That is the raw periodogram, the one we did before. And then the next one, we have the windowed periodogram. So that's the positive windowed periodogram against positive frequency. And then for the Welch periodogram, we plot the Welch periodogram against the Welch frequency. So, and then we see the title is comparison of periodogram estimates. X label is frequency, while the Y label is power. So we run that, and this is what we get. So you can see that the raw periodogram has high frequency because it contains noise. Okay, that's misleading. So, but by the time we window it, we Welch it, right? Welching, like we said, takes care of variance, right? So Welching reduces helps to do some job on that, and that we see in green like that. So the peak, right, for the raw periodogram is a bit above 1, because 10⁻⁻⁴ is 1. It's a bit above 1. Remember the 1.75. So for when we Welch it now, we now have something between 0.01 and 0.1. And then when we apply the windowed periodogram to it, when we window it, then it reduces a little bit further. It's still above 0.01, but it's not as much as what we have for Welch periodogram. And that takes us to the end of this video about the periodogram, which is a tool for estimating the power spectral density of a signal or a data set, whatever it is. Of course, the signal can be in form of a time series, from which you can derive from a formula, a time-based formula, so to speak. And then it could also be a time series data set like that. Don't forget that you can get all the code sheets by following the link to the Google Drive in the description box on Python or on Facebook. If you have not subscribed already, you know you are missing a lot. So go ahead and subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can always get alerted each time a new video is released. You can take it further by becoming a member of the channel. Just click on join, and then you see 3 levels of membership with special privileges attached, right? Ultimately, don't forget to like, share, comment so that more people can have access to these videos, to this good content I have going on here. Till I come your way again, keep doing math right. Bye.